Well, welcome back, everyone. This is Jeanne-White from Social Connections on Passionate World Talk Radio. And here we are, January 2nd, the new year, 2019. I am sure you all had a wonderful festive time with your Christmas and your New Year's. And I hope all your dreams are going to come true for 2019. It's going to be a good year for everyone. But today we have Betsy Wurzel on. You know, we do this every week for Betsy, and she's a caregiver, and she gives her own advice of what she's learned through the course of being a caregiver for her husband, Matt. And today, you know, Betsy's going to talk about how they spent New Year's Eve, and also it's something that happened to her last week called a wonderful act of kindness. So I'm really interested in hearing that one, Betsy. Welcome, Betsy.
Hi, Jeannie. I want to wish everyone a Happy New Year, and to you, Jeannie and Lillian, and thank you for having me. Matt and I spent New Year's at home. I made dinner. I was actually awake when the ball dropped, so a surprise. And after the ball dropped, we danced to Auld Lang Syne. Hopefully I'm saying that right. And it was a nice New Year's Eve, and I just learned to appreciate, you know, the moments, and just slow dancing and just taking Matt from, you know, where he is and enjoying him. Jeannie, I have to tell you and the listeners about this wonderful act of kindness last week. This just blows my mind. Last Thursday, I went to a lab to get lab work, and I was sitting there, and as Matt would tell me, I don't know any strangers. So I was talking to a lady next to me. She said she was, you know, waiting a long time, and I said, well, I got in pretty quickly, and I asked if she had an appointment. She said no. I said, well, you know, you need to have an appointment for this place, especially on a Saturday. And we were talking about, you know, Christmas, and she said she worked in retail. I said I had worked in retail. We were talking about children. And she said her son has ADHD. And I said, well, my son has a disability, and he takes care of his dad. And she said to me, takes care of his dad? What do you mean? I said, well, my husband has Alzheimer's. And she started to cry. She had tears in her eyes, and she said, I'm so sorry. And I told her that, you know, after the lab, I'm going to go to the mall, but I feel guilty, but I want to do some self-care. And she said, you go do self-care. You need to get out. You need to buy yourself something special just for you. So the technician saw that I had a lab appointment, and I said, that's okay, you know, let her go first because she has to be at work and I don't. Excuse me. And she went in for her lab work, and she came out. She said, ma'am, I don't know you, and I know this isn't much, but here is money for you to get yourself something. And it was $30. And she went back in and came back out, and I said, listen, I can't take your money. This is very nice of you. I can't take it. She said, no, ma'am, I want you to buy yourself something, and you do it. Go enjoy yourself. So that blew me away, and she told me where she worked. So I called her up later in the evening, and she said that she was glad I called, and that she was telling everybody at work about me. And she said, Betsy, I was stressed out because I was running late for my lab, and you helped me put, I get emotional, you helped me put things in perspective. And, you know, it really wasn't anything to get stressed out about. She said, I'm so glad you called me, and we became friends on Facebook. And she's co-owner of this high-end jewelry store. So that just really shows, folks, everyone is either going to know someone with dementia that they're taking care of, or they will be knowing someone who knows someone who has dementia. This is how much of an epidemic this disease is, that people are getting affected by this. And I was so touched by her kindness because I didn't know this lady from Adam. And she had compassion on me, and that just really was really a nice experience. And, I'm glad I was able to help her, put things in perspective. And I told her that, sometimes if we're running late, we have to think we weren't meant to be there at a certain time for whatever reason. Call it providence, call it, whatever you want to call it, fate, but you're just not meant to be there. And we don't know why. So we became friends on Facebook, and I thought that was really cool. Excuse me. Another act of kindness, well, sort of, somebody in our church, this is kind of funny, brought over on Sunday I can't help but laugh, one chicken cutlet with some spaghetti, 2 pieces of stale bread, and 6 cupcakes. The cupcakes were fresh. Now, Joshua eats a lot, so I don't know how she would think one chicken cutlet would feed 3 people, but it's the thought that counts. So I was surprised about that act of kindness. And, meeting strangers, everyone's fighting a battle. We need to be kind to each other. We need to show compassion to our fellow human beings because you don't know what they're going through. And looks are deceiving, very deceiving. You could be happy on the outside and they could be crying on the inside. This is why we need to be, kind. And it takes just as much energy to be kind to somebody as it does to be mean. And there's one thing I've learned, it's taken me a long time to learn this, our words can either help or hurt somebody. And they both have long-lasting ripples and long-lasting effects. And I'm excited about this new year. I'm going to be talking on another person's radio show, and yet it's scary for me with that situation. But I have to take the good in with the bad, and I really want to, I'm starting a hashtag on my Facebook page, my Kick Alzheimer's Ass Movement. I want people to start seeing that and, asking questions about it. And when I do have more time, I'm going to try to start, a page on that and get that rolling. Don't know how to start a movement. I was not a, hippie from the 60s, so I don't know how to do that kind of thing, but I'm going to learn. And this is really funny. One of my Facebook friends, I've known her since grammar school, she said to me, Betsy, whoever knew, this is funny, whoever knew the shy, quiet little girl that you were would be a powerhouse. So come a long way since grammar school and when I was quiet and shy. But, folks, if you find a cause that you believe in or you find an injustice, then we need to speak up. And that's the only way things are going to change. That's the only way things are going to change for Alzheimer's or whatever cause that you believe in. I won't say that I'm, brave or courageous. I'm just speak out because I'm angry, I'm sad, and this is a way for me to use it in a positive way. And I want to encourage people in 2019, if your loved one has Alzheimer's or some other dementia, take care of yourself. I am going to have to start taking better care of myself. Do something for you, even if it's small. Take care of you because you can't serve from an empty vessel. And enjoy your loved one, as much as you can. And just really live in the moment. I learned this too late about living in the moment. And I wish I learned it earlier. And I just like to share my experiences. I thank you for that opportunity, Jeannie, because I don't want people to make the same mistakes that I made. And I'm thankful that that you and Lillian and this radio station give people the opportunity to speak on not just Alzheimer's, but other illnesses and other causes, because it gives us a voice. It gives us hope that people are listening, and maybe we can change things, and maybe people will start questioning their doctors and speaking up for themselves and being their own advocate. You really, if you have a loved one who has any kind of illness or disease, you need to be proactive. You need to be an advocate, and even for your own health. And, people, especially like around my mother's age in their late 80s, excuse me, they're afraid to speak up because they were brought up that the doctor is God. No, the doctor is not God. And you need to question them. And follow your instincts, people. Follow your gut instincts. It will never fail you. If you think something is wrong, it is. Keep going to several doctors if you have to find an answer. I know I covered touched on several topics, but that is what I felt like I need to say. And, share your stories, share your experiences. We learn from each other. Caregivers learn from each other. I'm going to tell you that right now. A doctor didn't help me. A doctor didn't give me information. I had to learn on my own because, unfortunately, this information wasn't available to me 19 years ago. And I had to learn by the seat of my pants. And I was in nursing, and I never heard of Alzheimer's, never heard of sundowners. And I had to learn quick. And there wasn't these support groups that are available now. There wasn't the information. There wasn't people speaking up. And I wish that there was. And I think it is fantastic that Passionate World Talk Radio is allowing caregivers to speak. And I hope that whenever someone does speak, that people can learn from them and share their own stories so that we can learn. We all learn from each other, and caregivers need to help each other and show love to each other and compassion. And that's what I have to say today, Jeannie. Thank you very much.
Well, Betsy, I think that was very informative and very, from the heart, talking about the things that that you wanted to discuss with about Matt and your New Year's Eve and these two wonderful acts of kindness to you. And it shows that, there are many people out there that are willing to help. And we just have to thank them all for taking the time to talk with you or provide some finances to you or provide some food to you. I think it's wonderful, because you have a lot to go through, Betsy, And I myself think 2019 is going to be a good year, and I think you and Colleen and Christina and Marcy and Sue going to make significant changes in how people address the caregiver and how responsive to be to the caregiver. I think you all five of you are going to do fantastic things this year to bring more awareness. I really do, And I know that we tried last night to do a live radio show, and as usual, technology took over and had its own way, and we couldn't complete it. It was unfortunate. But I'm thinking of something else that I would like to do with Betsy, and it may be something that we can do on Google Plus, on Google Live, and just test it out so that we can bring more voices to this epidemic that's happening to everyone. So, Betsy, thank you for all your courage and what you do and what you say and how you help other individuals during their times of turmoils. I want to thank everyone else for listening to the show, and if you have any comments, you can always go to Facebook and find Betsy E. Wurzel, and you can send her comments, and she will definitely answer you all. That's the only way it's going to work. You have to partake in this whole deal. There's no guarantees in anything. But, Betsy, thank you again for being on the show. I truly appreciate it, and I know you'll be back next week, right?
Yes. Well, thank you, Jeannie, and you're quite welcome. Oh, I have to add something. This is so bizarre.
Okay.
It's a small world, Jeannie, and you don't know who knows who. One of my Facebook friends, this is so bizarre. One of my Facebook friends, I happen to see a name. I won't mention it, and the name is a family name in my family. And I'm thinking, it can't be too many people with that last name. I want to know if we're related. So we contacted each other, and we are related. She was a friend of somebody that I met in a group.
My God. It is a small world. It is.
It's
so now
so
you're
funny.
connected with someone in your family.
Yeah. From a knowing someone in a group, and I saw it on her own Facebook page, and this lady lives in New Jersey, and her uncle, that's how we're related, her uncle was my father's favorite cousin. So we're distant cousins, but we're related, and that was bizarre. I had to share that.
That's a good share. I mean, that just shows you how wonderful social media can be to connect people. There's some bad things in social media, but I think there's more good things, and this is a good example of finding a long-distance cousin. Fabulous. That's good to know, see? Now, that's a surprise for you. Really is.
It was, and yeah. I have to say this, Jenny.
Did you tell your mother?
Yeah, I did. She doesn't remember too much of my father's side, so I didn't really know my father's side of the family. But she remembers the name and, the cousin that my father, really was fond of. And actually, I think I met this woman after I did a video in one of my groups. And I'm just thankful. I felt honored and blessed in so many ways, Jeannie, that, I really never expected the response to my videos. And it's just sometimes, boggles my mind and overwhelms me with such joy that, I can't help but cry sometimes. I'm an emotional person. The kindness of people, taking their time to reach out to me, to tell me that my video had touched them, that it helped them. This is what I want to do. I think this is my calling, and this is going to be part of my Kick Alzheimer's Ass movement. I want, caregivers to connect to other caregivers. I want caregivers to encourage other caregivers and talk and speak about their experience and, help one another and to speak up and not be embarrassed not to be ashamed, because if we as caregivers of loved ones with some kind of dementia, if we're embarrassed to talk about it, if we're embarrassed to admit that we have a loved one, then what does that say? How are we going to educate people if we're embarrassed or if we're afraid to talk? And I do encourage people, if I can do it, and believe me, if I can do it, anybody can do it. Because if anybody would have told me 5 years ago even, I would be publicly speaking, I would have told them, you're crazy. Mm-hmm. I really would have said, no way would I expose myself. I can't talk publicly. I'm too shy. But when you get mad enough like I do, and you get angry enough at the injustice that's being done to us and our loved ones by so many systems in this country, you speak up. You have to. You have to have an outlet. And so this is an outlet, and I can't thank you enough, and Lillian.
This is what we're here for. This is what the station is all about. But I'm going to try to bring it out even further. We'll see how this works. I'm just going to tantalize people with that idea, all right? And,
sure.
And we'll see where it brings us, because that's how it works, one person at a time, And you will be surprised how it's all going to lay out for you. We really don't know what this journey is bringing us to. Even for me, you have no idea. But I was thinking, I don't know if I asked you before, but would it be all right to have me put some of those videos up on my website?
Oh, sure. Definitely. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we can put a couple up there and see if there's any, people that are interested in it. And then, whenever you do a video, I can always put it up there. But we'll try one and see how it works.
Sure. You can share whatever you like. My wall is public.
I always like to ask persons for permission. You not randomly take it and just surmise that, yes, I can do it, because there are copyright rules and stuff. There are rules about that, about using people's other information without asking, for permission. Are you going to do a new video for the new year?
I am going to, I did one last week.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one, right, yeah.
Yeah, I did one last week, so.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you're going to start one new one for the new year. That's all.
So yeah, probably sometime this month when I can.
When you have some time. And it's difficult, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and people go, "Why do you video in your car?" Well, I video in my car so I can have peace and quiet. So nobody starts talking to me when I'm doing the video.
Yeah.
That's why I do it in the car.
That's good, Betsy. Yes. You're going to do wonderful things, Betsy. You really are, and you're going to help a lot of people with what you have been doing and your experiences. And like I say, Colleen will be there too, and Christina will be there, Sue will be there, and Marcy will be there. I think you 5 women are the catalyst. You're going to be, honestly, I keep saying this, and it doesn't make, you guys are going to be the movers and the shakers. In fact, I did say that to one of the people that I talked to about you being on their show. I said, these 5 are the movers and shakers, basically. Yeah. And you
well,
are.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeannie. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, that's hard for me to think. I said to my mother, I said, yeah, Jeanne-White thinks I'm a mover and shaker. What do you think of that?
You really are. And it takes a lot of courage and strength to come out and speak. It really is a lot. And I'm just glad I'm able to provide a venue for you. And I hope there'll be more hosts out there that are going to provide venues for you. But we just have to keep, knocking on the door and asking for them to be on for them to have you on their show. And that's how it works. But, and we'll keep you posted, everyone, on, when Betsy is going to be on that show, and we'll see what happens. Right, Betsy?
That's right. Yes, thank you.
Is there anything else before I close?
I just want to thank everyone who listens, and I appreciate, everything you do, Jeannie. We all do. And you're my angel, and I'm so glad that we met.
Me too. You know what you should do? You should let people know that we know people are listening because you've been contacted on something, correct?
Right.
Yeah, so you know that they're out there. And sometimes they're a little leery about writing a comment or asking you a question. I think not, because here we go. We already have one that's already sent her a comment. And, Betsy is conversing with her through their, I think it's Facebook you're conversing with. And but you all should really contact Betsy, or, Colleen Sellers, or Christine Turner, or Sue Fernandez, or Marcy Burr. And they're all on Facebook. These women will be more than happy to, talk with you. So if you don't ask, we won't know. And here is a good example. So I know you people are listening. I know that, And now it's a proving fact because you did have somebody. And I think that's wonderful, really. But that's how it works, Betsy, a little bit at a time.
One step at a time. And I'm happy to say that with Colleen's group, and then I'm in the Alzheimer's and dementia support and education. We've gone international. We have people now from England, Israel, and if people want to join a group that is informative and that you can vent without any fear of judgment, there's an Alzheimer's and Dementia Education and Support Group on Facebook. Answer the questions, and somebody will approve you. And how I met Colleen actually was she saw one of my videos, and we became friends on Facebook, and she asked me to join her group, and then she asked me to be administrator. And I'm so happy to met Colleen because we're soul sisters. We're so much alike in being vocal, speaking out about Alzheimer's and the injustices that are being done by the medical system and the government agencies. So Colleen is excellent. All these women are. Sue, Christina, very informative. Marcia, I love each and every one of these women. I admire them. They're women of strength and of courage, and they're brave. And please reach out to any of us because there's strength in numbers. And, the government may, or local radio stations or newspapers, they could ignore me. They could ignore one person. But if we bombard them, they can't ignore thousands of people. And this is what we need to do. We need to start bombarding our newspapers and radio stations, TV stations, and say we want to be heard. We have a story. We have a cause. And I think I'll be quiet now.
But I don't want you to be quiet. You know what? I was just thinking as you were talking to me, right? If you could record yourself video, like a 1 minute, 2 minute about you and what you're doing, and if Colleen did the same thing, if I could mesh them all together, right? Maybe Marcy could help me out with that, and we make it like a small documentary. We can put it on YouTube. What do you think?
Oh, that's a great idea.
Don't you think I think that's a fabulous idea. But let's talk about it and see how we can coordinate all of you. Because I think you five, and I'm sure there are more out there, but I've been talking more with you five and see, how it is. But I think if you did like a little, not a commercial, but and talk about what it is you do, what groups you're in, and Colleen could do the same thing, Marcy could do the same thing, Sue Fernandez could do the same thing, and Christina Turner can do the same thing. And if we could put them all together, make a short little documentary, that's the introduction to the Shakers and the Movers.
That would be great. And Christina Turner also has a group, Family Caregivers United, which is an excellent group. And Christina does a great job, and she's really an amazing woman, what she's been through, and just a wealth of information. I'd love to hear her speak on your show.
Yeah, she's coming back. Yeah.
I'm happy about that.
Yeah. So maybe I could send you five of you like a text on Facebook and just say, what do you think of this idea, and see how we can evolve with it. But I think that would be good. I really do. I think it would be a good idea to do.
That's an excellent idea.
I think that's the next step for you. All right. All right. So is there anything else before I close?
No, that's it. Thank you very much.
It doesn't. No. No, I just want to be sure that that you get out everything you want to talk about. I know you're going to be back on next week. I know the week after.
Yeah.
The week after, but I always want to make sure that there's something that I missed for you.
I think that's it. People just get the strength that you do have strength, folks. You do. You have it in you to speak up. You just have to muster up that strength and speak. Jeanne-White is so easy to talk to, and all the people that I told about you said that you're so easy to talk to, that you're wonderful, and that only people knew how easy it was, and just try it. You can be anonymous. You don't have to give your name or your town or anything. Just tell Jeannie in advance. But please give Jeannie a try, and you'll see how wonderful it is to talk to someone who gets it and who cares. Mm-hmm. Jeannie cares. She's just not just a talk show host who's, you have your 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and she doesn't care about you. Jeannie cares about each and every person who speaks on her show.
Oh, and I do. I really do.
You have a big heart, Jeannie, and I know that the five of us, I could probably speak for them, love and admire you, and you are just fantastic.
Well, thank you very much. But the reason we do it is to make sure that you're heard, and that's all I really want for you, all of you, is to be heard, and not to be shuffled away somewhere. But in order to do that, I really want the listeners to participate. It's important to participate in this. It's not a one-sided situation. It's everyone. Let's tell you, this epidemic is going to get more and more and more. And who better to talk to? These five women that have really the expertise in their journey of what they've done and what they've learned. And that's how you're going to learn. But you won't learn until you participate. That's always what I say, Betsy, participate. I don't care how many people are listening, as long as I can get that one listener. That's what I'm looking for, is that one listener that I can really help. We're all in it together, folks. I've been there. I've lost my dad. I've lost two very, very important friends in my life, and we're going to keep losing that. So let's join together and come in and talk to the movers and shakers. Okay?
Thank you, Jeannie.
Thank you. Well, look at it. I don't want to hold you, because we could go on and on and on. You realize that, don't you?
I know.
So, okay. Well, I'm going to close. Do you have any, short parting words for people before I do close? I always like that.
I would like to just say, enjoy your loved ones, enjoy your life, and hope springs eternal. That just came to me. We have to have some kind of hope, even though there's not a cure, but we have to have a hope that things do work out for the best. And that's what I have to say.
Thank you very much for the words of wisdom. That's really true. I want to thank everyone for listening to this show today, and I hope it helps you and encourage you to take a stand on whatever it is that's going on in your life. It may not be as a caregiver. It may be something else. It may be injustice to people. It's random how many things can be. But whatever it is, take a stand and get in touch with Betsy Wurzel at Facebook. And she will be more than happy to talk with you. Again, thank you, everyone, for listening. I'm wishing you all a very happy new year and a prosperous one. So enjoy your day. And this is Jeannie White with Social Connections on Passionate World Talk Radio. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week on the radio. Bye now.